is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report, the only show on the internet that gives you the up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebs. Thanks to you, our listeners, we are now into our second 100 shows. We couldn't have done it without you. Well, I guess we could have, but there wouldn't be much point to that, would there? Anyway, I am legitimately excited to once again bring you the latest celebrity news from the next world. So, how about I make that happen? With all the top-tier arrivals and updates about celebs of the past few weeks, I missed one notable new denizen of the afterlife. Longtime correspondent for the American version of 60 Minutes, Morley Safer arrived about a week ago. Now, Safer slipped into the next world quietly. There was no big fanfare marking his arrival, unlike most of the other notables we cover on the report, with the exception of a few of the more hardcore of my sources. The only person present for his arrival was his former CBS News colleague, anchorman Walter Cronkite. According to one of my sources on the scene, the two men were extremely happy to be reunited, as they hadn't seen each other since Cronkite transitioned to the afterlife in 2009. After they had hugged and shaken hands, my source boldly asked if they wouldn't mind if he tagged along with them for the rest of the day. In a good mood, the two said they couldn't see why not. So off the three of them went to Cronkite's favorite watering hole, where the two reporters shared old times over a few beers. Eventually, the two former CBS men were feeling no pain, and Cronkite dropped a major bombshell. He said he's been thinking about retiring from his current job as editor of one of the next world's largest newspapers, and that the job was Morley's if he wanted it. My source says that Safer seemed a bit overwhelmed by the offer, but accepted after a moment of thought. My current information is that he will formally take over after a few weeks of on-the-job training from Uncle Walter. Former televangelist Tammy Faye Bakker's TV show Tammy's Court is finally airing on Afterlife television. The show has been in various stages of pre-production for several months now, with the final touch being the addition of recently transitioned to the next world fellow TV preacher Jan Crouch as Tammy's bailiff. As I reported previously, Jan's contract specifies that she continue to look as freaky as she did when she was on Earthly Plane TV, to contrast with Tammy's newly resculpted face. If you ever saw Jan on the Earthly Plane on television, you know I'm not exaggerating. She was freaky deaky. My sources who have seen the first few episodes of the show say that the on-screen audience in the show's fake courtroom seems to be having a hard time keeping from laughing whenever the camera goes in for a close-up on Jan. As she did on her former show, Jan wears gobs of eye makeup and frequently sports two different colored wigs on her head. That's right. From what I'm told, her main functions are being the comic relief on the show and making Tammy look glamorous by comparison. The Afterlife Gossip Press is reporting that during the taping of the first episode, Jan appeared to be mugging for the camera at a few points, and that Tammy shot her some glaring looks. The incidents were edited out of the show before it aired. Now, not to play Nostradamus here, but I predicted when Jan's addition to the show was announced that I thought the two women might clash before too long, and this new information seems to confirm what I thought. To be fair, it's early days for the show, though, so things may be straightened out before they collide, but we'll see. When we last heard from veteran actor actor Ernest Borgnine. He was performing in The Odd Couple on stage with Ethel Merman, to whom he was married for only 33 days on the earthly plane. That didn't end well at all. Their run on stage ended abruptly due to creative differences after Ernie flubbed a few lines during a performance, and Merman was visibly miffed at him. These days, the star of TV's McHale's Navy is making people happy with a different line of work. Sources? Jeez, I sneezed. I'm sorry. Sources tell me he is now the proprietor of Uncle Ernie's ice cream truck. He travels around giving away frozen treats to the children of the next world, who hopefully aren't allergic to it, like whatever made me sneeze. A friend of his was quoted as saying that he misses seeing Ernie's acting work, but he has never seen Borgnine happier since he started his new job. For his part, Ernie was quoted in the press. I'm still laughing about the sneeze. He was quoted in the press as saying he's having the best time ever, and that he doesn't care right now whether he ever acts professionally again or not. You may recall that some months back, Orville and Wilbur Wright, the brothers credited with the invention of the airplane, got into a squabble after they were both rejected by astronaut Sally Ride. The brothers were competing for her affections when Ms. Ride shot the flyboys down in favor of a woman. In an attempt to establish their bona fides as manly men, the brothers put aside their differences, buffed up, and became male models. Now that was the last we heard from the Wright boys, and that was a year or so ago. Now comes word of a rumor making the rounds of the afterlife. This is not yet confirmed, but tongues are wagging all around the next world that Orville and Wilbur are about to try their hand at gay porn. The story goes, that's right, you heard right, gay porn. The story goes that they have shot some test footage and are awaiting word on whether or not they will make the cut. I have asked my sources to try to confirm this, and when I get further information, I will, of course, happily pass it on to you, because I really want to know where that one is going. And looking at my notes, I see that's all I have for you at the moment. No more sneezes. Please come back next week when I will have more up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebs. Between now and then, please spread the word that the report is available for free on iTunes and in the Google Play Store. There are now over 100 episodes for you to enjoy there. I'll see you back here next week. I am the apparently allergic to something celebrity medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.